No, you're right. He texted. I was like, "Fuck yeah, okay." So, Toddy, moving on. The Texans beat the Jaguars. They're 24-20.
Trevor Lawrence looked better in this game. I thought that Fields, or not Fields, Stroud looked a little bit shaky early on, but I felt like the difference in the game was when I forget the backup running back name is for the Jags. He gets pushed out.
Bigsby.
Yeah,
Thank
Bigsby gets pushed out like inside the 5, and they end up trying to go for it on fourth down and they don't convert, and so they're down. They're the the Texans are still within scoring range and being able to. The game would have basically been put out of reach. I feel like that play kind of changed the outcome of the entire game. Nico Collins ball down this game. He's I think like leading. He's like one of the top leaders in receiving yards. Stephon is still able to do what Stephon does. He's on my fantasy team. No Joe Mixon in this game, and they were still able to get the job done. The Jags are still the only winless team in the entire league now. So Dougie P's seat just keeps getting hotter and hotter each week that they don't win. And if the Jags don't turn it around soon, we might see him get fired before the season ends.
So moving on to the next game, we have the Denver Broncos beating the New York Jets. This game was hard to watch.
Yes.
If you would have told me the Jets hold Bo Nix to 60 passing yards and give up 10 points, I'm thinking the Jets score 35, 40 points.
Got to.
For it to be raining like that, Breece Hall can't get going. Garrett Wilson continues to struggle. You finally get a glimmer of hope. You drive down the field for your kicker to shake it. Aaron Rodgers goes to the bench, throws a towel over his head, and you never know what he was saying, but I know he is probably contemplating this move because it's not looking too hot. The Jets have to figure it out. The Jets are a team that we talk highly about, a team that a lot of people have coming out of the AFC, but when you're losing to teams like the Denver Broncos, and Aaron Rodgers said it perfectly after the game, your team gives up 10 points, you have to win the game. It's all on the offense, 100%, 12 times out of 12. So there's a lot of things that they have to figure out there, but hopefully they figure it out. Kaz, I'm swinging it to you next. We had Jordan Love return to end up eventually losing to the Vikings 31-29.
Yeah, I did call that game. I picked the Vikings to win. I was actually surprised to see the Packers come back the way that they did. I think Vegas had a little bit to play with that personally, but the Vikings are better than the Packers right now. And I also thought that I'm like, when they had cleared Jordan Love to play, I'm like, is this the game you really want to clear him to play? Are you sure he's 100%? Like, do you want to risk this just because it's a division game? And at the end of the day, I mean, we'll never know. He seemed fine throughout the game, but the Vikings are they're really good right now. Sam Darnold, another week of playing good football. Jordan Addison, I think actually not in. I tweeted like 4 days ago. I said, you guys who understand that Sam Darnold's doing this without Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, when they come back, that offense is going to they're going to be good. I mean, they should be good. How do you mess this up? They get one of those two guys back, and immediately Jordan Addison, 22 points on my fantasy. I did start him, by the way. Power move by me. But Jordan Addison finds the end zone. Awesome. I think he 2 touchdowns, right? 2? So, yeah, 2 touchdowns. He ran one in. I think he caught one. The Vikings they're on a tear right now. And I saw some Vikings fans say some tweets, and I got a couple of friends of mine because I'm from the Midwest, so obviously there's Vikings fans everywhere here. And like, we usually do this thing where we start off hot some years, and it's like, watch this end up going like, 8-9. I'm like, bro, I don't really think that's the vibe right now in Minnesota. You guys have already beat some good football teams. I think that you guys are a team. I think you guys are equivalent to the Detroit Lions, where if you're going to beat us, and by us I mean the Vikings, you're going to have to really show up and give us your best game. So that game shouldn't have been close. You take away the fact they kind of, again, Vegas sprinkled in a little bit of magic and allowed the Packers to close that game, because let's just call it what it was. That game was a blowout. So it's, in my eyes, the Vikings absolutely decimated the Green Bay Packers, and I'm not surprised, honestly. I think the Packers will be okay. I still pick the Packers to win the division. I'm going to stick with that. We'll see if they can turn it around, and I think that they do. But for right now, the Vikings are looking like they might end up going because they're undefeated, right?
Yes, sir.
They're still undefeated. Yeah. I mean, without even looking at their schedule, I can foresee the Vikings being, 8-2, 7-3, something like that after 10 weeks. So muted. You're muted.
Their next 4 games are the Jets, the Lions, the Rams, and the Colts.
Yes,
They play
and I can see them
go
go.
London next week.
Yeah, and I think that they come out of that.
6:30 a.m. kickoff is nuts.
Yeah, I think they come out of that stretch. Worst case scenario, 2-2. Worst case scenario. Best case scenario, they sweep. So they get a 4-0. And if you put that in perspective, that's an 8-0 record. So as Eagles fans, we've been there. We started off the season, what was it, 9-1? Last year? No, yeah, last year, 9-1. And we won't talk about the rest of that, but 10-1. Sorry, 10-1. We won't talk about the rest of that, but Minnesota, if they start off hot, I don't foresee them fumbling that bag. So Minnesota's a good team. Watch out.
All right, Ty, going to you next. The Atlanta Falcons outlasted New Orleans Saints 26-24.
Younghoe Koo, the savior. A lot of people are calling him an Atlanta legend. I thought this game was – these two teams hate each other. I get we're kind of far away from the rivalry, but they, hate each other. But this will probably be a series when they play again. The Saints will probably win, but this was a really close game. The Saints ended up taking the lead with an Alvin Kamara. It was a 3 to 5 yard touchdown or something. And the Falcons had to drive down and score. They got rewarded with a crazy pass interference call late, which kind of put them in position to kick a game-winning field goal. But this was just a back-and-forth game. There was a lot of errors for the Saints on special teams, and they also had a pick six, so I feel like that kind of put them in harm's way. But I thought the Falcons really ended up being the better team. Poor Kevin, Bijan Robinson didn't help him out with his parlay over the weekend. But the Falcons and the Bucks, I feel like the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Saints, it'll be a lot closer between those three teams for that division than it kind of was last year.
I agree. So next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get into this game, Kaz gave him a pat on the back for his fantasy knowledge, starting whoever he started. I forgot who it was. But Toddy was telling me, AR this week, Kevin? And I said, hell no. I got something, Toddy. I got something on the waiver. It's coming. Who do I get? Sam Darnold. The night before, I said, damn, am I really going to bench AR? Looked myself in the mirror and said, duh. It's them. 4 plays into it, gets hurt, so I'm happy I did that. But throughout 3 weeks, all we said was Justin Fields was a game manager. That boy came out there, 312 yards, 22 of 34, slaying that thing. And they lost, unfortunately, but we're able to see Justin Fields be able to play a lot of different ways. This football team has a lot of holes offensively. Besides George Pickens and Pat Fairmouth, they really don't have anything else going. Najee Harris has been –
he's pretty good. I like him. The other little slot receiver. He's pretty good.
Najee's been hit or miss this year. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not. For Cordell Patterson to wipe his cleats off and come out there and go for 6 rushes for 43 yards says a lot about this team. But the Indianapolis Colts, life was rejuvenated, unfortunately, as soon as Anthony Richardson goes down. What happens? An intermediate pass for a touchdown. Michael Pittman ain't done shit all season. 113 yards. Josh Downs, 6 for 82. They got a lot of weapons. Unfortunately, on my fantasy team, if you're a Colts skill player, you're on the waiver, buddy, because they're going to put him back in there at some point, and I'm sick and tired of it. I cannot do it to my mental anymore. I had to get Sammy Boy in there, and he did his thing. Didn't do enough for me, like Toddy mentioned, but I'm really hoping to see AR come back out there soon. I would hate for him to be a what-if story with all his injuries so early in his career. So, Cavs, moving on, we have
before you – I don't mean to cut you off, Cavs. We always mention the group chat on the show. I got some Steelers fans poking their chest out now that because they was 3-0. Gary and Cordell, I'm calling you both out. I was in the group chat going at him because they're Fields is the guy. If we wouldn't have fumbled on the left, I was like, he played a good game. I'll give him his credit where credit is due, but there were a couple of plays, questionable plays in that game where it's like, all right, we kind of need you to show up because there once upon a time, I think it was 17-0. The Steelers weren't really able to get anything going. And then towards the end, they kind of started to pick it up. Defense started to play a little bit better. But Steeler fans, because they were 3-0, they were starting to come at my team, who was now 2-2. We're like, hey, we're 3-0. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let's keep it real. Y'all know what it is. All right. Let's not get misconstrued. We got Fields this year. I'm like, oh, let's see. Come on. I think Justin Fields needs to be playing with the lead for them to be successful. They were down yesterday. Things got a little bit wonky. I get it at the end. Had a chance to win. Didn't pull through. I feel like the defense needs to – the team runs through the defense, and Fields just kind of has to not fuck it up for them to win. So, I'll just say
game manager like your guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's a problem when it's Justin Fields. Hey, man, another story for another day. But Todd,
leading pass yards, but that's okay.
Hey, man, swing it to you. Your man, Caleb Williams, first rookie in 25 years to go 2-0 in their home debuts. Beat the Rams 18-24. Last week I dragged you through the mud. Let's hear it this week.
Did you see the Caleb double fist pump? They was going at him for celebrating for double fist pump. They said, "Look at this yippee-ki-yay ass celebration." Caleb is better. He looked better last week. He looked better this week. Got Keenan Allen back. I did see Jake Glazer reported that they had like a meeting with Shane Waldron. Like, hey, we gotta start letting it loose. We need to figure this shit out because there ain't no way this should not be working the way it is. Caleb is missing throws that are like what? Like DJ Moore's beat his man by 3-4 yards, and he has a wide open ass touchdown. And he just misses it. These are plays that I'm like, okay, you need to be able to hit these throws. And then there are other plays where he's spinning around, running across the sideline, hitting Cole Kmet or Rome Odunze on a crazy ass sidearm throw. Was like, okay, why can't you just hit the fucking 9 route that he's wide ass open on? And then he had a fucking crazy ass double move back at the end zone catch to DJ Moore, where it's like, okay, can we get more of that? So his confidence, I feel like, is starting to get a little bit better. He's still getting beat up. The offensive line is still garbage. They got the Panthers next week, so I feel like things will start to build up and get better for them. I did pick the Panthers to win this division. Caleb has to start. He's playing better, but he has to. We need to make these easy ass throws that he's missing because he's missing. Like they're running wide open. They are wide open, and you're like, bro, like, why aren't you able to hit that? Like, what's going on here? So, I love Caleb. You know, he's got another win under his belt. He's got to play better. He will tell you that he's got to play better. DeAndre Swift, they got the running game going. That was a huge help for them. But now we got to start because we got Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, we got DeAndre Swift. Ain't no way this shit ain't supposed to be working. So it's like, you're here for a reason. There's a lot of pressure around you. You know that. You told the damn punter you ain't going to be punting that much.
And he on the field more than you.
That's what. So I'm like, we need to figure out what the hell is going on. So this is a good step for the Bears. They need to play better. Caleb needs to play better. Let's get the ball rolling. They got the Panthers next week. That should be a win for them.
Moving on to you, Kaz. The Kansas City Chiefs outlasted the Los Angeles Chargers 17-10.
Oh, my God. Well, first off, Rashee Rice getting taken out by Patrick Mahomes.
That was great.
That sucks. I'm not sure what the actual diagnosis was, but if I'm not mistaken, probably torn ACL, out for season, I'm guessing. Unfortunate. I think the Chiefs will make another power move and get some stud wide receiver out of nowhere because that's just what they do. But if I'm not mistaken, did Kareem Hunt have a solid game?
80 yards.
Kareem Hunt came back to
Kevin
Kansas City
started,
where
Carson's
he had to leave because of an incident years ago when he was in his prime. Prime Kareem Hunt was a problem. I'm not sure if y'all know about that, you know what I'm saying? But prime Kareem Hunt was one of them ones for real.
Oh, yeah.
And to come back to KC and do what he did was awesome. You know, kind of the opposite of what I think about the Eagles right now. Good teams just find a way to win. Mahomes did not look good. Mahomes did not look good at all. He's throwing picks.
He threw a bad pick.
Yeah, a bad pick. He can't get anything going on offense. And then even defensively, it's like, you know, it's just such a sloppy game. Now, granted, it was a division game. So for my picks, I actually picked Kevin, me and you talked about it. I said I have a crazy upset that I'm picking, and you're like, you're nuts. I'm like, I'm not picking it because of logical reasons. I'm picking the Chargers to win because it's just, why can't it happen to the Chiefs? It's already happened to how many teams now that have no business losing? You know, the Ravens losing to the Raiders, and you got, like, you know, us losing to, you know, whoever the hell we've lost. I don't even know anymore. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those games where I knew it was going to be weird. That would have been the game if I was a fan and I was going to give advice to somebody. Don't bet on it. Don't even watch it. And it was exactly how I thought. Now, I'm an idiot. I put a good chunk of money on a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. I'm hurting. Let's just say that. I'm hurting. That shit hurted. But Kansas City, a great team, great coach, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, found the way to get a win, and they're just you got to put KC away, man. You're not going to win any game within 7 points as long as Patrick Mahomes is out there. So the Chargers had opportunities. The refs obviously helped out a lot per usual, and Kansas City got the dub. So not surprised. Obviously, they were supposed to win by, I think they're like 6.5 point, 7 point favors, I believe. But they played a hard fought game against a division opponent and just came away with the win down the stretch. So that's it.
So next game we will be covering is the Cleveland Browns losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. You know, Toddy and I love to cherish our memories, and one of our fond memories on this podcast is a factor cap worst trade in history. The Browns will regret it. And this was last season. He was hurt, and they came on there and said, "You don't know ball, da da da. Deshaun Watson this, Deshaun Watson that."
That was a year ago.
They saw Joe Flacco on Sunday, and I said, "I bet you their GM said, damn, maybe we should have kept Joe. Maybe." Deshaun Watson, it's just not working out, man. This team has no identity. With Nick Chubb coming back to practice this week, hopefully is to give them a boost. But Jerome Ford isn't Nick Chubb. And for this team to rely on the running game so much and not get the productivity says a lot. But for you to lose to an offense that doesn't have Devontae Adams and Michael Mayer is embarrassing.
Max Crosby.
We talked – yeah, but he don't play the offense.
Yeah.
We talked about this Cleveland Browns defense being one of the best in the league last year. They didn't lose nobody. They paid a couple people. What happened? The fall-off is insane. The Browns have a lot of things to figure out. Amari Cooper could be on the trade block. So there's a lot of things that they have to figure out in Cleveland. But we knew this coming in. So I was really hoping for a Deshaun reunion tour, comeback tour, but it's looking like I am not going to see that this year. So moving on, Toddy, go ahead and give us your breakdown for the 49ers beating the Patriots 30-13.
Hey, man, we back. What can I say, man? We back. This was just a game. This is a get-right game. We're favored by 10. I was very skeptical on picking this game for us to cover, but they proved me wrong. Defense showed out. They balled. I think Fred Warner is the league leader right now for Defensive Player of the Year. He had the pick 6 last week, on Sunday. And he's flying all over the place. He makes plays. He forced fumbles. He pretty much does anything you need him to do. He can line up at receiver damn near. We needed him to do it. Brock Purdy, Leads the league in passing yards. I don't know if you guys knew that. He went for 288 and a touchdown. He really only had one bad throw, and I thought that was the interception, trying to force feed IU. But other than that, I thought he played a great game. He's been a guy that has been using his legs a lot to extend plays, which has been pretty insane. We did have Debo back, and we also had George Kittle back, who ended up catching the touchdown. Jawan Jennings is just a man amongst boys. Kevin calls him third and Jawan, as a lot of people have called him in the past. But Kevin liked to refer to him as, put him in that corner of a number 3 receiver. Just going to put you over there. What happens when Jawan Jennings got to do this? When he got to do that? Oh, he's just going to go off for 175 and 3 touchdowns. Oh, he's
going to win?
Oh, he's going to go off and he'll lead the team for 88 yards.
Stats are for losers.
I'll let you talk, so I'm gonna talk about my team. Niners are back. We're 2-2. Jordan Mason is just, I don't know, man. This dude runs hard, man. Like, it's hard to tackle him. And I would like to see him get a little bit more going in the passing game, but him between the tackles and on the outside, it's just like you don't want to tackle him in open space. Niners are rolling. That's scary for the league. Have the Cardinals next week, favored by 7.5 at home. Cards coming off a loss. It gets weird with Kyler Murray, but I feel like the Niners should roll in that game as well. But, hey, man, I'm just putting the league on notice. Ricky Pearsall coming back. Y'all ain't even seen him play yet. White boy Rick. Y'all gonna start seeing him dancing and grooving all in the end zone. Dancing. Y'all go. I'm just saying. Because it's like, who's going to guard him? Your linebacker's going to guard him. Your third corner is going to guard him. Okay, good luck. It's going to get scary. I'm just letting y'all know right now. When Ricky Pearsall comes back, he's able to practice, he's able to play. Oh, yeah. It's going to get scary. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
So you're thinking Brian Thomas Jr. is scary. We're thinking Luke McCaffrey scary.
Okay. Just watch. Just wait.
I mean, which one we leaning? We leaning more Brian Thomas, or we leaning more Luke?
I mean, we can throw it to whoever. Who you want?
No. What are we thinking that Ricky's going to be? Is he going to be more of a Brian or more of a Luke McCaffrey?
You don't even think Brian's good, so that's why I'm just like, what do you even mean by
I was going to say Malik Neighbors. We don't think he's that, do we?
We'll see.
Oh shit. Okay, moving on. Cass, go ahead and finish it up here. The Miami Dolphins lose to the Tennessee Titans 31-12.
God, man. I predict this too, man. I just said it's gonna be a sloppy game, bro. I got the game wrong. I picked the Dolphins to win. I just thought, man. I mean, Will Levis goes out early in the game. They got Mason Rudolph. I don't even know dude's name. Oh boy, they got half a head from Myles Garrett slamming his helmet on him. Mason Rudolph, he in the game, looking like Mason Rudolph. Just a ugly game through and through. Doesn't matter. Tennessee does a little bit more on offense in comparison to the Miami Dolphins, and that's all it took to win this game. And at the same time, Tyreek Hill was completely eliminated, which obviously that's probably was the game plan for the Titans. It's just, hey, let's just kind of, play toward anywhere that Tyreek Hill is on defense and allow them to truly beat us with the arm. Allow Tyler Huntley to thread the needle through the air, which he's not capable of doing. So just an ugly game. The second that 7:30 game for me came on, which was the Seahawks and the Lions game, I turned that game off. I had it on my phone, but not on my television. It was just there just for viewing purposes, just in case, a big play happened, nothing happened. The coolest play of that game was Tajay Spears taking a direct snap and running it in 10 yards out or something like that. So just a boring game. The Dolphins are in trouble. Tyreek's not happy. Nobody's happy in Miami right now. And I've said it in the past. They need Tua to come back, man. For guys saying that Tua is not a franchise quarterback, well, you see what happens when you don't got him in the game. It's equivalent to us when we don't have most of our weapons. It's like, damn, this shit ain't fun, man. So I know Tyreek's frustrated. He was open on quite a few plays, and Tyreek with Tua goes off for probably like 175 tonight. Huntley missed him on like 3 or 4 big plays, and it just this game tonight just comes to show how valuable Tua really is to that Miami Dolphins team. So just need to get Tua back, and until that happens, depending on who they play, you probably can't pick the Dolphins to win a game moving forward. So that was probably
too, right?
What's that?
So y'all know Odell's on this team. Like he's on.
Bro, does he even play football anymore?
He's on the team.
Who is?
Or the pup list or something. Odell.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. But yeah, so you have all the weapons in the world, no quarterback. On the opposite end, like I said, for us, you have a solid quarterback, good quarterback, and Jalen Hurts, and no weapons on. It's just sucks, and you see what happens. So Tennessee, they got to win against a team that is only as good as their offense is, and that's with everybody healthy. So no Tua, that completely eliminates Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and even Devin A-Chain. He had issues getting rolling too. So Titans won, and I think they honestly deserve that win. So shout out to the Titans. I mean, they both still suck, but shout out to the Titans.
So we actually have one more game, Toddy, that I missed. So I'm going to swing it to you next to end us off here for our Week 4 recap. The Dallas Cowboys escape the New York Giants, 20-15.
Neighbors is a boy. Kevin laughed at me when I said he's better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I still believe that is true. Even people were saying, well, he has Daniel Jones. And some people were saying that Malik Neighbors might save Daniel Jones' job, which is even crazier to say. I still think Daniel Jones isn't the guy. He did get hurt trying to make an insane catch at the end of the game. Ended up leaving the game with a concussion. CeeDee Lamb, I thought, played well in this game. I think it's concerning for the Cowboys. Their running back room concerns me. Rico Dowell and Ezekiel Elliott. That was kind of me going into the season like, okay, y'all gonna rely on them? It really is. Who else besides CeeDee Lamb is going to be able to do something for them? And I feel like the way how close the game was at the end of the how it kind of came down to it kind of shows you their lack of weapons. And Jerry Jones said, we're going all in. We're going all in this year. And Micah's hurt now, and he's going to be expecting a bunch of money. How good has Micah been? He hasn't really done anything in recent memory. He's a great player, I think, but he's got to show it on the field. He's on podcasts, interviewing people, doing this and that and the third, and hasn't really been performing well. But I do think this Dallas Cowboy team, a lot of people expect them to win a bunch of games, but it's like, how good are they when they're kind of going down to the wire? Who team they beat 40-0 last year when they went to MetLife last year. And now it's like these games are a lot closer than they need to be. So I feel like the Cowboys, yes, they got the win, but it's like we're getting slapped at home against the Saints, the Packers when they beat us in the playoffs, the Niners whenever we play them. We got to be good teams. We can't just be beating up on bad teams all the time. And when we play a good team, we get slapped. So there you have it there.